advancing to the second round in consecutive seasons for the first time since 1986 and 1987. A 14-point win advances them there. Now we hear from Coach Bud.
Going on with the social injustices is much bigger than the game of basketball. But with that being said, you have to come here today and play a playoff game and try and close out the series. What can you say about the professionalism of your guys to come out there and focus and execute the way they did after the last 2
Yeah, I will say still trying to end racial injustice and end racism and make this world a better place is still more important than anything we did today and more important than us winning. But I understand the question, I get the question, and I do think the professionalism of our group, the focus of our group, the ability to do what they've done the last few days, along with the rest of the players in the NBA, the rest of the NBA. This has been a collective effort, and today our team was able to do something collectively and get a big win in the playoffs, which is not easy to close out a team. And just a ton of respect for the Orlando Magic players, their organization. Steve Clifford's a great coach. Just watched him for a long time, have so much respect for Coach Clifford and their team. So, our hats off to them. But yes, our players, their professionalism and their ability to come out and play today. It's what we expect of each other, but it's still hard to do.
Eric Name. I know we're talking about compartmentalizing there essentially, but what's going through your head as you guys get ready to tip off the game? I know as I was getting ready to cover it, I couldn't believe that basketball was back. Like, it was tough to kind of even comprehend, especially after the conversation with you and Leslie before the game. So for you, as the game was starting, what's going through your head?
Yeah, you have your routines, and to some degree they're disrupted today, and there's a lot of things that, are important that we talk about and address, and then, you get a little bit closer and your routine and your preparation for the game starts to take over, and, the coach isn't that important, but, we all have our things that we start thinking about, and so I think that allows you to get into a little bit of a mindset and focus on the game and what needs to happen. And once the tip goes up, it's you kind of fall back into to a little bit of a comfort level and what you've been doing for a long time and what we're here to do. In addition to fight for racial justice and ending all the problems that we have.
Speaking of the game, I guess just what do you think of Marvin today on the bench?
It's hard to put into words. I think the team's ability to respond. It got cut, I think, to 3 points, and I think that stretch. There were a couple big offensive rebounds, which I think Marvin was one of them. Then he hits a 3. He takes a charge on the other end, hits another 3. So there's just like a great kind of. Example of multiple winning plays, stepping up when we need somebody, and responding when the game got tight.
Go Harden.
Was it? History happened back there the other day. Was it either strange, or did you feel that when you walked back in there? Like, what was it like to just kind of be back in there again?
Yeah, I actually wondered which locker room we would have today, and. I think going back in there and just, walking into that space and remembering what our players did, and, I think the phrase being on the right side of history, our players throughout the NBA being on the right side of history. There's been a lot of conversations the last 2 days, and the solidarity, the unity that, our NBA players, our NBA owners, it's impressive, and you felt something going back in there. I think you'd be dishonest if you didn't admit that. So maybe it was a good thing.
And then going back to Game 1, you guys weren't playing very well. Now you've won the last 4. How do you feel like the Bucks are kind of coming along from the basketball?
Better. I think we still got a long ways to go. We'll take some time and just digest winning and finishing a series, and at some point, players get a little more time. Coaches, you'll have to flip to, a very, very good Miami team. And I think, defensively, we're moving in the right direction. Offensively, moving in a little bit better direction. But we're going to have to be a lot better against a really good Miami team.
Christos from Greece.
First of all, how different was the last 4 days inside the locker room, of the atmosphere inside the locker room? And second question, how are you going to change the approach in the series against Miami Heat?
Having a little bit of trouble hearing everything, but I think the atmosphere of the locker room the last 4 days, it's felt more like a dining room table or living room or a place where we can gather and have a conversation and talk, and and then the family gets bigger and you have other groups that come together, and so I don't know that a locker room is the appropriate one, but there's just a lot of determination to try and make good decisions. Ultimately the decision to continue to play, to continue to push for change and come up with concrete things that both the Bucks organization, the NBA Players Association, and the NBA together. I think there's I think real change in the immediacy and change going forward, and that's been great to feel and be a part of. And I'm not sure the question about